Good afternoon, ladies, and thank you for joining us in Far Above Rubies today. I'm so glad that each and every single one of you are here. Today's story from the life of Jesus is one of outstanding faith, incredible determination, and a spirit that is not easily offended. This story, it's a model for what we should be as Christians today. So let's dive right into it. You'll find this reading passage, this story, in Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 through 28. And most of us know this as the story of the Syrophonecian woman. She was a Gentile, which in Jesus' day meant separation from the Jews. They were the Jews and everybody else. They were God's chosen people, who was the children of Israel, and everybody else. So anybody that was not a Jew fell under the category of a Gentile, and the Jews didn't mix with them. Understandably so, because throughout the Old Testament, every time the Jews and the children of Israel mixed with an outside culture, they took on their gods, they took on their sins, they were very easily influenced, and it led to a lot of trouble for the children of Israel in the Old Testament. So they have very strict rules about associating with those outside of their culture. And we see a few times throughout the New Testament, before Jesus' death, I should say, that a Gentile found their way to the feet of Jesus. We talked about the woman at the well the other day. Well, this woman, the scripture tells us, her daughter is possessed with a devil that torments her. Imagine being in this mother's shoes. I really like for you guys to imagine the emotions that these people were talking about that they felt. This woman's daughter, she says, is tormented by a devil. Can you wrap your mind around what that would be like? Would you not do anything? Would you not climb mountains and cross oceans to stop this torment for your child? So this woman, not only did she have great faith, outstanding faith, that Jesus could heal her daughter, that Jesus could remove this tormenting spirit from her daughter, but she had incredible, impossible, over the top determination that nothing was going to stop her from getting what she needed from the Lord. This was a need. This wasn't just, God, it would be nice. This was desperation. Desperation. I feel chills. Many of us in this group understand what it means to be in a desperate situation. A situation that only God can tend to. A situation that without the hand of Jesus, we will have no relief from. We understand what desperation means. So this woman, she finds Jesus. She travels from her home to go and find Jesus. She finds him and she asks for his help to please heal her daughter. The original language of this passage says that she's begging after them, after Jesus and the disciples. And Jesus ignores her. Now, this was not his habit. We don't really see this anywhere else in Scripture, that Jesus ignores somebody. But I don't know if he's testing her faith. I don't know if he's seeing how great her determination is. I don't know if he's trying to show us that he's about to step over the dispensation that's going on right now in his life, that he's about to step over the cross for a moment and reach into a Gentile's life and touch. I don't know why he chooses to ignore. Sometimes I know I have felt like God's ignoring me. I know he's not really, but sometimes we can feel in our prayers that God is ignoring us, and it's hard. Imagine standing face to face with Jesus. You're begging him for meeting your need, and he ignores you. How would you respond? She continues to plead with the Lord. Sir, Son of David, Jesus, help my daughter. The disciples are so annoyed with this woman, they ask Jesus, they say, send her away. She's annoying us, Lord. Send her away. That was nice, wasn't it? Send her away. Even those who follow Jesus couldn't understand the desperation this woman felt, and that nothing was going to stop her from getting what she needed from Jesus. So Jesus looks at her, and he's now talking about this dispensation that they're in, this separation of culture, separation of religions. And he says, I can't help you. He says, I've come for the children of Israel. I've come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And he says, I can't take what is theirs and give it to, and this is how he describes her, and give it to the little dogs. The original language says the little dogs. He's calling her culture, her belief system, her family, dogs. She humbles herself in that moment. And she says, truth, Lord, but even the dogs get the crumbs, the scraps from their master's table. She's saying, God, I don't need you to do something huge. She says, I know, if you would only give me just a little crumb from your presence, if you would only give me just the scraps, the leftovers from your spirit, oh God, if you would only just allow the overflow from somebody else's miracle to touch my situation, that my daughter will be made whole, that my situation will be made whole, that this desperate need in my life will be spoken to. This woman's faith is extreme and beautiful. Her determination is unmatched, in my opinion. And the last point to me that is so precious in this story is that this woman's spirit is not easily offended. I know people who struggle with offense. Someone in the church offends them and they walk away from the Lord, even though God didn't do it. And yet, this woman was called a dog by Jesus. She was told no multiple times and ignored by Jesus, and she would not let nothing keep her from the feet of Jesus. Nothing keep her from reaching the Lord. Nothing keep her from touching the hem of his garment and receiving her blessing, receiving her miracle, because she was desperate. You know, we're quick as Christians to quote the scripture that says, it's better that you would tie a millstone, a huge cement millstone around your neck and be cast into the middle of the sea than to offend one of these little ones. We're quick to quote that. But how quick are we to quote, blessed is he who is not easily offended in me? How quick are we to make sure we are not the ones being offended? How quick are we to make sure our spirit can withstand what others would feel is offensive? How desperately do you need Jesus? How desperately, how determined are you to get your miracle? Is anything going to stop you? Is offense going to stop you? Are other people's thoughts, opinions, actions, words going to stop you from getting your miracle from Jesus? Do you have the faith that it takes if you have to wait through God's silence? Do you have the faith that it takes to wait for his answer? Do you have the faith that it takes to continually knock on Jesus' door and say, God, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Jesus, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I need you. I need your hand in this situation, and I will keep bringing it before you, God, until I hear from you. Do you have the faith that it takes? Go and read Romans. I had a notification that wouldn't go away on my phone. Go and read Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 through 28. Go and read this woman's story. Be inspired by her. I know I've gone a little long today. Go be inspired by her story. And if no one has told